So how is it going, everyone? Welcome back to yet another video. Again, keep in mind that I am in a college dorm, so video-wise, it may not look as high quality. However, the value right now is what I'm going for. And so with that in mind, we are going to be going over what to do after this bull run. And I feel like I have covered this before, maybe not so much as focused on this topic as I really should have or had. So that's exactly what we're going to be going over today, and really not going to be getting into a market update besides the fact that Bitcoin has reclaimed $100,000. So definitely important there to take note of. But again, we're going over specifically exit strategies and more so just what to do in preparation for a potential another alt season. And let's actually get into why I believe there could be another alt season 4 years from now, if we do see one happening this year. And it all has to do with psychology. If you guys think of it, both the stock market and realistically any market works in ways in which investors will predict things to happen. And if the majority of those predict something to happen, well, it will happen. And the reason that is the case is because those investors who predict, let's say, a recession to happen, will start doing things that actually will cause recessions to happen, such as saving their money and not investing it into the economy. And, maybe they're laying off employees as well because they don't want to have a ton of employees going into a recession. So in preparation for a recession, they start to lay employees off, causing the unemployment rate to go up, sorry. So of course there are other things that go into expectations and emotions, but ultimately that is logically the truth. Emotions are what create and move markets, as we've seen time and time again. And I like to always bring up the idea that if we continue to have alt seasons every 4 years because of catalysts like Bitcoin halvings or whatsoever, well, then of course the mindset behind investors is, well, 4 years ago this has happened, and the 4 years before that it happened also. So why not go ahead and bet on that happening again? Well, what are they going to start doing? They're going to start looking for altcoins that are very undervalued, and they're going to start investing into those and holding for long-term gains. Now, with that in mind, there's going to be, of course, short-term plays throughout that alt season. But what they're going to do is from those short-term plays get into high-cap altcoins, in which creates a bigger alt season because you're playing around with more money. So you can see how that works, and you can ultimately see that we are able to kind of predict that these things can happen, and then we can profit off of those. That's very important to understand when looking to actually make money within an alt season, because you have to understand that in theory, this is literally just based off of emotions. So with that in mind, I do predict we could see another alt season in the next 4 years if one happens this year, simply based off of the fact that investors predicting that to happen, if the majority do, they're going to do the things that will actually cause that, therefore making us have yet another one in the next 4 years. So that's what I wanted to go over, just bring that up and why that is important to understand what to do after this alt season, especially if you still want to be in crypto. And again, this video is assuming we do have an alt season, but nonetheless, those of you who've been in crypto last year should have actually profited some money and should have your portfolio up a decent amount. So you should already have targets in mind of when to take profit. So that's the first thing before we even get into what to do once you're all cashed out. Make sure you have take profits set into mind for the projects that you're currently in right now, and reevaluate the projects that you're in and understand, are they in any key narratives that are being discussed for this narrative, or for this alt season, I should say. So once you've done that and once everything's checked out, you simply wait, take your profits, and now you sit with your cash. What do you do? This is going to be very important to understand and have a plan in place so you don't go blow it 100 grand on a new car or whatever, all of it, and then you're left with zero. What I would do is I would identify your financial goals for the next 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and really understand what can I do with this money to put me closer to those goals? I, of course, am a proponent that we may not ever see, we could die tomorrow, right? I'm a proponent of that idea. So some of my habits and choices align with that. But I also treat my health as if I'm going to live another 80 to 100 years. With my finances, I kind of have a balance between I could live another week or I could live the same 80 to 100 years. So with that in mind, my investment decisions are going to be based off of what can actually benefit me in the short term versus what can also benefit me in the long term. So I like to find a good balance, but that's just me. I'm a 19-year-old with a lot of time on my hands. Therefore, if I have a sizable chunk of money, I'm fine putting down 20, 30% of my profits into fun things that I can enjoy right now and can actually boost certain areas of my life. Whereas I can take the rest 70% and put that into investments that can benefit those 2, 5, 10, 15, 20-year goals. So that could, for example, if I want to put aside a certain percentage of that 70% towards retirement, I'm going to go do that. If I want to set aside cash to buy strong utility altcoins that are really going to survive potentially other alt seasons, well, then I'm going to buy those when they're significantly low, and even Bitcoin itself, Ethereum. So if you can understand those and understand the profit that can be taken from simply buying low, selling high, you wait for markets to crash. Once you've taken your profits, you enter back in and you simply play the waiting game. I've seen people who've been able to buy in on those dips and literally just hold coins that have 5, 10x them easily, and they have had sizable chunks of money within them. So that's something you can easily do, but of course you need to work out a plan and figure out your goals. I would recommend, if you're making a sizable amount of profit, this is just what I'm doing. So again, none of this financial advice. Take some of your money and put it towards things that could benefit you in the short term, whether that's for entertainment, whether that's actually benefiting you and giving you entertainment. So it's an investment in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's a nice Rolex that could hold its value that you can wear every day. Whatever the case is, find something that you find enjoyment out of. Now, if for some reason you do not find enjoyment out of anything you can spend your money on, consider traveling. Do you want to go and visit a couple of countries? Do you want to do things like that? Or do you simply just not care and find the most enjoyment in investing and keeping your money safe? Well, then maybe that percentage, you just simply invest into the S&P 500, into your retirement accounts, whatever the case is, you do things of that nature, or even make a down payment on a rental property. You do things like that, and you could quickly find yourself in your hands filled with wealth if you simply just have a plan in place. That is the point of this video, is for you guys to have a plan in place for the projects you're in order for you to take profit in the smartest way possible. If you are able to do that, then you guys are going to be in a huge, huge advantage on 90% of crypto investors who maybe it's their first cycle or their first time even making a sizable amount of money, where they ultimately just blow it all on designer clothes, cars, which I'm huge fans of both, but they blow 100% of their money on that. They're stuck right where they were left. Be smart. Treat this as a really good opportunity to potentially make some serious money. And yeah, the point of this video is just to go over the importance of making a plan that fits with your needs and wants. If you guys can do that, you're going to be solid. I'll see you guys later.